Who would be doing further investigation of this claim, right? Who would be doing? Who would be performing? Who would be the primary assignee of that game? So we can do it in two ways. Either we can manually assign to anyone, okay, or it can be automated, automatically assigned. How it will be automatically assigned if we'll use automatic assignment, right? So my assignment rules, activity assignment rule. Sorry, assignment rules will be triggered. Okay, I have assignment rules here, right? So, based on these assignment rules, my claims would be based on the load, based on round robin, or based on the load factor of a particular user, and the claims are automatically assigned. Suppose we have global C claim assignment rules. Okay, so I'll open the claim assignment rule for auto policy. Now I want to check my assignment rules. So when I'll sell, I'll be selecting. I'm having personal auto, right? So when I'm selecting this, assign claim and exposure. So you can see, it will come to this, your cursor will come to this and it will run this logic. And here they see, here. So here it is fetching the group name, okay, and from the group it is assigning it to someone, okay. So that's how the assignment rules takes place. Okay, so you can read it. Use the function getGroup or getGroupType based on claim segment. Okay, to find that. Okay, I'll tell you what is the claim segment to find the top 2 group type choices assigned by this claim. Then try assignment options in this order until you succeed. Primary group type, near claim loss location. Secondary group type, near claims loss group type, near claims location. Primary group time, you can ensure loss location. Secondary group type, near and short loss location. So first what it is defining it here is, first it is checking, is there any group inside which is near to the claims loss location? Okay, which is nearer to the claims loss location? Suppose I have kept the claim loss location and Ilyana Ilyanov, right, so it will check. Is there any location which is nearer to that place? Is there any we have any group of insurance? Professionals there which are which are working with us. If it is, then it will be assigned to someone from that, okay. If not, then it will go to the second secondary near to insurance primary address. It will check for the short. Yeah, so that's how the automatic assignments takes place. Okay, and you can see here we have a written condition that loss type it should be auto. Then only this assignment rule will be triggered. That's why we have different rules for different line of businesses. Okay, so now? Okay, let me use. If I want to use manual assignment, I can manually assign to super user or any user I need to. I can search any user which is there in my application and I can assign. Now, when I click on the finish OK, it will save the data which I have already created. I should keep. Sorry, see, I have kept the debug points here. Okay, just to show you. So in the work plan rules, my cursor got stuck and in the debugger, I could see the frames and the variable names which have been used. So, okay, I will check for the claim pre-update rule also, because claim entity is getting created right. I'll put the debug point for any of the rule in the claim. So I'll put the debug point here. So you can see it came here, the cursor came here. So it means one by one, in this sequence, all the rules are triggering right which are related to the claims and which are related to the entities which we have of just right. All these rules are triggering, so that's why we use rules very extensively. Especially in the Claim Center. Okay, so if we want to create an automatic exposures right, so there are exposure-related rules also, assignment rules, initial reserves. Okay, automatic exposure rules are not present here, so we have to define it manually. Yes, we have pre-set up exposure rules here, but it is empty, so we have not defined any rules for the exposures. Okay, we are not creating any automatic exposure. It means okay, so you can see in the debugger window, in this window. Okay, you are able to see the objects and the data related to the objects. If you will be using these. This is step over, this is step into, okay, when you will click on step into, it will take you to the next line of the code. Okay, inside this suppose, inside this method, it will take you to the next line of the code. So it's going into the Java class. Yes, it is going into the Java compiled classes. So that's why there is no use of going into those classes, will not be able to see that light, so we will be doing step over. Okay, step over. Will not go into this Java classes, okay. So it came outside now. Okay, I'll do step over. So step over means suppose this is the life and my debugger is stuck here in this line of code, I am doing step over. Right, it will come to the next line of the code in the same file, but if I'll do step into, it will go inside this block. Okay, it will go inside this method. Okay, so that's the difference between the step over and step into. I'll just mute my debug points, and I'll resume the program so that my claims are. Yeah, they don't expect me to remember all those things right, like which tick mark you have to enable. Sorry. Which one say can they ask? Something like in the PCF file, if you want to add button, which one would you select? And all those things. No, they'll not ask. They'll just ask you about the process. What would be the process? They will not go into the specifics. That which property of on the widget you will be selecting. They'll not interview, will not be that much specific, because there are hundreds of type of widgets available here. You just need to know only few widgets. Okay, that is toolbar edit buttons. Okay, normal button. So these few widgets you need to know, that's for sure. Input widget, is there right? Input widget, date field, date input column, all these you need to know whatever we have seen in the lab session, that's it. Apart from that, they will not ask specifically for each and every widget from the PCF. They'll ask generic questions to you. Suppose, from Claim Center perspective they can ask that. They can say that okay, how the assignments are done. Okay, if I want to have an assignment rule. Where I need to means how the claims are assigned to a person. Okay, or so you will be saying that. Okay, I will be using. If I have this requirement, I'll be using the assignment rules, and I'll be having multiple rules in that. First of all, I'll make a condition on the line of business, and then in the action, I'll go ahead and create a search for the user, which I need to assign, and I'll be assigning the claim to that in the assignment rules. And they can ask you about all these rule sets, what all these rules do. Suppose there is a rule named segmentation. Okay, so what does the segmentation rule used for? So I'll tell you that segmentation rules is only used if you want to segment a claim. Suppose a claim is coming to the picture. You want to segment it on a means. Suppose there is a less complex claim, there is a normal claim, and there is a claim of higher complexity. Okay, so this segmentation rules will contain the rules which will segregate the claims between. These will classify the claims okay, because less severe claims will be handled separately. Normal games will be handled separately, and most severe claims are handled separately, and there can be some fast-track claims also. Right. That can be so if you want to segment the means, we want to segregate between the claims, right, we can segregate it using segmentation rules. So suppose we can segregate the exposures also. There can be some exposures which are very much on priority, which we need to complete as soon as possible. There can be some exposures which can take time, which are not so much priority, which has less severity. Okay to complete. So that's why there are segmentation rules from the exposure level, and there are segmentation rule on the claims level as well, to separate out the claims and segment, exposure. Okay, suppose we have claim segmentation rule, so for claim centers and segmentation rules. Also, we have defined different segmentation rule for different line of businesses, suppose for personal auto. Okay, so this is here. We have written some rules. Okay, so what is my rule here is, I am iterating through all the exposures which are there in the claim. Okay, if I am using first where here what my first, we will do it returns. If the condition which I am providing inside the first where this is true, it will return the first result of that condition, right? So if any of the exposure in this array is having a segment as high, then it will mark claim as a high. It will mark this in a higher level, right? So you can see, here it is taking. Suppose there are 3 exposures. 1 exposure is of high priority and 2 exposures are low priority. So at this line of code is returning the exposure with the highest priority, right, because this condition is true for highest. Okay, so here in the line number 39, you can see you are in the claim segment. You are assigning the segment of the highest exposure. Okay, so this segment is TC, high auto, high right. So this will be allotted to the claim. Okay, so it means, if one of my exposures is my priority, then I will segment my claim as also high priority. Okay. If any of my exposure is okay, so it is checking. If none of if this is null, right, so it will check for the mid-priority exposures. Okay, and this